Hey everyone, Check Redemption back for the 1993 offseason. Here we are seeing the glorious screen showing 7 straight NBA championships for your Indiana Pacers. First time we've swept somebody. We were back to the Lakers, so we've got bookends now of the finals against the Lakers. A new acquisition, Scottie Pippen, gets the MVP, although there are about 4 or 5 people you probably could have made an argument for being the MVP. The big trade in the season was Patrick Ewing for Scottie Pippen, and it looks like it paid off, or was a good one. Got a little younger and freed up the center position for Shaq to take over. And a few decisions to make here in the offseason. Let me show what happened Hall of Fame-wise. We got Dantley and English, who are, if you go look at the scoring leaders, if I were to look there, they're near the top. Not near Kareem quite, but lots of scoring from those two guys. They were the only ones with jersey retirements for their kind of OG teams that they started this adventure with. Historic changes, we got new logos for the Bucks, Mavs, and Nuggets. So we're getting a little more modern here in the early 90s. No changes in the lottery. Pacers' top pick will be number 6. We've got the 6th and 7th. The Jazz landed the number 1 pick, who I'm imagining will be Chris Webber. He'll be a huge franchise changer for them. Number 2, I think consensus is Penny. So going to the Cavs, who also could really use some help there. So we've got 6, 7, 14, 17, and 21. So 5 picks. Definitely not using all of them, maybe like 1, because we don't have many things to fill. If I go, let's do trade just so I can see the options. Point guard wise, we've got team option for Gary Payton. John Stockton we just extended. Ennis will probably maybe trade. I mean, he's 83. He doesn't really have a way of playing on this team, so I might get some future picks for him. Reggie still got a year left. Sprewell could probably be fine in what Nick Anderson's role was, which was just like the 10th backup in a 9-man rotation. Small forward, we've got Pippen with a couple more years left. Rice is expired, but he's restricted. Almost as good as Pippen at this point. Horry's still under contract. Kellogg we got locked up for a couple of years. Kemp is also restricted. We got Shaq and Mutombo. Mutombo's got an option I need to accept. So really, the only thing, Mark Eaton retired, so the third center is gone. We didn't have a third power forward to begin with, and if I trade Watley, I need a third point guard. But otherwise, I'm pretty good to go, I would say. So let's go ahead and get in the draft and see what we can do. The Jazz get Weber. There we go. James Edward turned 37. Well, I don't know that Chris Webber's replacing James Edwards. He's much of an upgrade. Cavs get Penny, who's number 16 for some reason. I don't know if one's retired or if they already have somebody there, number 1. Bulls go with Vin Baker. I think Mashburn was projected to be number 3, but and he's not even going 4. So we've got Isaiah at number 4. And number 5 is Mashburn going to the Pistons. So here we are. I will get some trade offers, so only 2. The 8th and a future first, or Mashburn and Dawkins. Well, Mashburn wouldn't really have a place on my team because Glenn Rice is my backup small forward. Trading down to and getting another future first isn't a terrible idea. But let's see who's here. Point guard wise, the top guy it says should go as Lindsey Hunter or maybe Nick Van Exel down here. Sam Cassell's not bad. Shooting guard, Allen Houston's supposed to go 6th. He could be the guy to replace Nick Anderson. So maybe I do use this pick, or I trust that whoever I trade it to doesn't pick him. Calbert is pretty good. We got Rodney Rogers. Really no power forwards beyond Vin Baker. And Weber already went. We've got Sean Bradley's the best center. So Allen Houston would be cool to have. And I wonder if that 7th pick next, he's the consensus number 6. And I think everybody above him in any draft has already gone. Yep. So I'd pretty much have to pick him now if I want him. Otherwise, I might not be drafting anybody with number 7. So I'm going to go ahead and draft him, and he can replace Nick Anderson. Welcome to the team, Alan. I don't know that he's replacing Reggie, but we'll see. So no trade offers for this one. We're going to go ahead and see. The Cavs will do 94 protected. Celtics with a couple firsts. Clippers with a couple firsts. Nets. Nuggets. There's the 12th and a future first from the Spurs, who are pretty good usually. The Magic have been good recently. There's 93 and a protected 94. I could also add Watley to this and see if somebody will bite. Vin Baker. He just went 3rd, so 7th and Watley will get me the 3rd pick. Walt Williams, who, by the way, set a record as a rookie. He set a record for three-pointers made in the league, in league history. So 158 so far is the highest. I took a look at that offline. Oliver Miller, that's terrible. Muggsy in a first. Fat in a first. Mashburn again. Brad Doherty in the 12th. Not really needing people that are as good as what they're giving me. I was just hoping for draft picks. So let's take a look here. Usually when they do it this way, they're showing you 2 picks, but really it's the 94 top 3 protected. Therefore, if it's in the top 3, I will instead get a 95. So it's not actually 2 picks. It's kind of deceiving. This one is 2 picks. The Celtics have Akeem Olajuwon though, so I don't care for those. The Clippers were a rather high seed, I think. Yeah, they have one of the last picks, so not really what I'm looking for. The Nets were somebody I beat on the way to the last championship. I don't want players. The Spurs, by 97, they might be bad. And maybe I can get something else for that 12th. That's probably the best bet. Move down. Mullen is expired, so he could be leaving. It does say they were the 8th pick. So they weren't as good as I thought. Doherty only has a year. They drafted Kenny Anderson last year. Otherwise, they've got nobody on their team. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Nobody really I want with the 7th pick, so we'll give it to the Spurs and pick up another first. And they can draft Calvert Chaney. Good for them. Knicks get Rodney. Hornets get Sean Bradley. Sixers go with Lindsey Hunter. Terry DeHare to the Hawks. Again, I get no trade offers. Let's see. This is the 11th pick. It says Van Exel or Mills. Mirasan, Bowen, Mills. Van Exel would be interesting as a 3rd point guard if I trade Watley. But he's not ready to go yet, and I have the 14th still coming up. So, let's see what the 12th alone gets me. I'm hoping for 2 more first. There's trading back again. And a 95. Anybody with 2 firsts, or somebody like the Jazz who have been terrible, or the Knicks who are consistently terrible. Nobody's going to give me 2. Oh, trade back 3, but that's also taking a pick away. So the Bucks isn't an awful one. that's actually their trade, or their pick. Yes, so 25th, meaning they were very good. Oh yeah, they were super randomly good. It kind of threw me off because they have a new logo. Um, yeah, this team doesn't seem like it should have been as good as it was, but it made it pretty deep in the playoffs. Um, hmm. What year is that? 95. So in 2 years, I don't know that they'll be that good. Leitner will get a little better. Kukoc probably will too. Let me try it with Watley here. Is there anybody else I would trade? Spreewell, maybe, now that I have Allen Houston. Lindsey Hunter. Vin Baker again. Too bad I don't need him. Sean Elliott. I don't need people. Can anybody just absorb Ennis Watley in a first and give me 2 firsts, please? I guess I could just try Watley. What does just Watley get me? A bunch of people I don't want. Cavs, a couple firsts. Clippers, a couple firsts. So that's something to consider before free agency starts and the people who want point guards pick up a point guard. So, I mean, if those are actually the Cavs picks, and they are, why wouldn't I do this? They just had the second pick. Oh, but it wasn't theirs. They were actually decent. They're like middle of the league because they signed Mark Aguirre. They just drafted Penny Hardaway. They still have Kendall Gill. So they're going to be pretty good. They don't have much of a front court going on, but their back court's good. All right, so back to 12th. Maybe I'd trade like the 21st with it. Give me somebody that's been bad. The Bullets were in the playoffs. It's the Cavs again. Celtics are good. Clippers I would consider. Hawks have Sabonis and somebody else. Jazz are bad, but that's technically one pick, I think. Rockets have been pretty good. Suns I don't remember being very good, although one of those might be my pick. Because usually if they have 2 of the same year, it's probably because I've already done a trade with them before. Warriors have Danny Manning, who just has been like all defense for some unknown reason. So maybe either the Bucks, the Bullets are interesting because Barkley hasn't gotten better than an 85. Like I think 87 was the highest he got, but he's kind of plateaued it seems, and he doesn't have any help really. Kiki's getting old. Bowie's not much of a threat. Let's just throw something. I can't do that. Before I trade the 21st, do I still have a first? I do. Let's try that with it. Because that's going to be worse than anything, I would imagine, if I continue my winning ways. That's a swap. I think I need the best to be on the right side for this to be good for me. No protection, please. The Pistons. That's my pick. I don't want that. Dang it. I hate that it backs you all the way out. Let's go backwards here. No protections, please. The Suns, yeah, that's mine. Okay, so it seems like we were better off. I just don't think the 21st is going to get me much. I mean, I guess I can pick up a second or something. Or no, this one wasn't bad. That's right. So move down 13 and pick up a future first. I think that was the best thing. It's either that or get a team that's pretty bad and get a second with it, like the Jazz. It's top 3 protected, which means in 96, like if they're really bad in 95, 96 would be a good pick. But they just drafted Chris Webber, so I think they're going to be pretty good. The Knicks just got, who did they pick? I don't remember. I'm liking if that's my pick, that's not terrible either. The Wolves have not been super good, but I think this Bucks is probably going to be the best. So we'll go down and we'll gain another 95 pick, and they will draft Lucius Harris. The Blazers get Chris Mills, and now the Pacers are back on the clock. And I'm thinking about Nick Van Exel here. It says he should be gone by now, so we're going to go ahead and get him, and then we'll probably trade, or we will trade Watley at some point. It's just a matter of whether I do it in the draft or not. And there's another trade to happen. The 15th pick is going to New York for future first and second, and the Knicks would like to get James Robinson. Rockets get Rex Walters. Pacers back on the clock. I can't imagine I'm going to be using this pick for anything because I'm running out of spots on the team. I do need a third center, which Jordan Marasan could play that role. But I'm going to do a little trade finder here and see what we get. I probably will just trade the other first as well. Hawks. What if I do the 25th with it? Bullets 96 and 97. The Hawks 96 and 97. Let's go see those teams. The Rockets as well. We'll start with the Rockets. They're not as good as they used to be. And the only players they have under contract are Ralph Sampson, who's going down, Dumars, who hasn't been very good. Yeah, they're not super great. The Bullets, we already looked at them. Oops. Bullets, Rockets, and Hawks were the other one. Sabonis, they've got an old Moncrief. Nobody really up and coming. And they had, I don't see what pick they had. So it's Hawks or Rockets. I'm going to go with, I think the Rockets. It didn't take a second either, so actually save a little bit there. So we'll get 2 firsts here for my 2 firsts, and we still have another one. So Rockets get Sam Cassell, so that's the first guy I think that's gone to the team that actually drafted him. Cavs go with Bobby Hurley. Heat, Scott Burrell. Celtics get the first fake guy of the draft, Gary Richmond. And the Pacers are on the clock yet again. George Mirasan's still there. One mock had him 40th, while the others were like top 20. There's a fake guy at the top. 3 fake guys at the top. So NBA draft isn't looking so good, their projections. But Mirasan's 10th and 15th. That's interesting. But for this one, I think I'm going to probably pair Watley with it and see what happens. The Bulls, they've been terrible. They're the ones who got Vin Baker, I think. There's the Hawks again. but let's put Watley with it. See what happens. Yep, there's Vin Baker. Why? They must really need a point guard. I don't need good people. I guess nobody has a roster spot, or maybe they don't have 1.83 million free to be able to take Watley. There's 2 first, but the Blazers are always good. Drexler still has 2 years left, and he's one of the best players in the league, and they got Isaiah, so I don't think that's very smart. Was there anybody giving me just picks? Yeah, the Cavs for Watley, the Clippers, so the Hawks were not one of them. The Cavs I wanted to avoid. I haven't really looked at the Clippers, I don't think. Oh yeah, I did. Terry Cummings. He might decline his player option, I'm not sure. They've been pretty consistent. So I feel like I'm going to wait to trade Watley. I think once free agency starts, teams will have a little more cap room to take him in. The Bulls are always bad. The Hawks might be bad by then. It's kind of between those two. The Hawks, either one takes my second, which is fine. That's going to be like the last pick of the draft in 4 years. So let's take the Bulls pick because they are always at the top. Their best player is Dennis Scott. Clarence Weatherspoon's their young guy, and they just drafted Vin Baker. So I don't think they're going to be that good. Here we go. And they get George Mearsan. So that's who I would have drafted if I kept the pick. George Lynch to the Nets. There's a fake guy. Fake. Bruce Bowen goes to the Rockets. Brian Russell to the Kings. Fake. Now we're in the second round. See what real people are still left. We've got a trade. Jeff Ruland for a second round pick. The Nuggets wanted a fake guy instead. Aaron Williams to the Mavericks. Any more real people waiting to join a team? Chucky Hill. Some of the names are funny. Irvin Johnson, there we go, to the Bullets. Is he going to be the last one? No, Bo Outlaw to the Nets. And there we go. All right, so it says Weber's an 83, 5 better than Penny. So again, I do edit the attributes, tendencies of all the draft classes to make them more realistic. However, when you bring in a draft class into your MyNBA, they do change. So it's not the same every time you use the draft class, which is kind of neat and kind of frustrating all at once. So Pacers get Allen Houston and Nick Van Exel. We will be signing both of them. We will be accepting both Peyton and Mutombo. So the fact that that was auto-declined means Mutombo has like no potential left. And they do not think I should be giving him $1.89 million, but I will be, because he's a fantastic backup center, even though he should be better than that. Let's see. Derek Cummings did decline his player option. So did Dominique. He might be switching teams. He's been in Orlando the last 3 years. He likes spending 3 years in places. LA, Orlando. Didn't score quite as much with the Magic as he did with the Lakers. Chuck Person, Coleman, Scott. So pretty much everybody declined except for me. The number 1 pick, Larry Johnson's option, was declined as well. Kenny's was accepted, though. Kukoc was... So there were some accepted. I don't understand the logic, but... Okay. Qualifying offers. Yes. I don't know about Anderson. And why are they all the same? Is that how that's supposed to work? 11th pick, 8th pick, 4th pick. Anderson I could sign and then trade potentially come the deadline. Well, at least offer it now. We can always rescind it later. But let's advance. Now, let's try to trade Watley. Let's first look at the team. Point guard is taken care of now with Van Exel as the third point guard. Does he have potential? It says C+, so not so much. We got Allen Houston here, who might just be taking Mr. Anderson's spot. A potential, wow, that's higher than Reggie Miller's. Rice is coming back, hopefully. Kemp's coming back, hopefully. And we need a third center, a third power forward. Whoops. And to trade Watley. Let's see what first we got. We got all sorts of firsts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For 94. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 95. Beautiful. Clicking Watley here. Can somebody please just give me picks? I don't want people... Unless you're giving me a third center and a pick. I guess I should be open to that. Third center or power forward and a pick. Weatherspoon's a little too good to be a third power forward. Polinace wouldn't be a bad one. There's 2 firsts from the Jazz. Oliver Miller, but for some reason takes a first. Horace. No thanks. Perkins. 2 firsts from the Hornets, who I don't think are very good. No, they're pretty bad. So, I think I do that. Just get rid of him for 2 future picks. There's nobody on their team I want, right? Third center, power forward. They did get Sean Bradley. I'm going to just give him away. Enjoy. Alright, so now let's go in and see who's here. Terry Cummings is the best free agent. He's getting all sorts of offers. Not from his team, the Clippers. So they are ready to just let him go, it seems. Mullen doesn't have any offers. I don't know what's up with that. I guess because everybody's going for Dominique. The Magic are trying to get him back, along with the Sonics and Clippers. Timmy Hardaway is restricted, but the Warriors are trying to steal him from the Magic. So Magic might be very different if they lose both of those guys. Kemp and Rice, I'm going to do the trick that I found out works, is if you just let them sign with somebody else and match, that's the only way to get them for more than 1 year, for whatever reason. If 2K could fix that, that would be wonderful. Nobody else. So no shooting. Well, Kendall Gill has 1 offer from the Lakers. So I'm going to go ahead and look for my third center, I guess. Somebody with badges that can mentor Shaq. Like Jack Sikma with 22 badges. I don't have money. It has to be minimum. Do I have any cap holds to clear? No, it's my 3 guys. It's my 3 guys for qualifying offers. So it has to be lower. Hot Rod has 11. He's not quite there. So lower than 568. Rasmussen. James Donaldson at 35. Was he on my team at some point? No. He's been around. He's had 2 stints with the Clippers. And didn't play for the Sixers really last year. Dale Davis is a free agent and wants lots of money. Ooh, Daryl Dawkins. Only 5 badges, though. Herb has 8. We could bring him back to finish his career in Indy. Lister has 6. That might be good. Stanley is too young. He has to be old enough to help Shaq. 7 for Randy Brewer. So I like Lister, or I don't hate the idea of bringing Herb back. It's been 8 years since we had him. And he doesn't know how to shoot anymore. I gotta look at what the badges are too, if it's something that could actually help Shaq. Some offensive, 1 shooting, and 3 defensive. Dawkins, on the other hand, rise up, fast twitch, blinders, brick wall and anchor, and Lister, rise up, fast twitch, break starter, brick wall, anchor, box out beast. I'm thinking Alton Lister. What about Alton Lister? He was on my team to start this out. That's right. I remember that was so long ago. He got super mad because he was like 78, 79 overall, and he was a backup, but playing a lot. And I ended up, I think I traded him in the offseason here. He's still decent stat-wise. I mean, not that I expect him to play, it's more just a mentor, so we're going to go ahead and give Alton Lister one of my minimum offers. And then the other thing we'll need is a third power forward. I think I'm going to wait on that unless there's somebody that blows me away here. Sean Kemp's going to take a lot of money. Glenn Rice, not as much. I won't be heartbroken if Nick Anderson has to walk away with nothing. I'm not going to match him, but I will take him for the qualifying offer, I think, if that's the thing. Except the qualifying offer is more than what he expects, so that doesn't make sense, actually. Sellers, Rick Mahorn, who's been on my team already. Dino, I guess, has no potential. C, he's stuck. Yeah, I'm just going to go. Nobody here is really looking like somebody I have to have. All right, Alton Lister has agreed. I do have a nice trade exception if that's going to come in handy at some point. See who's at the top here. Kemp and Rice still don't have any offers for me to match. Purvis is possibly staying with the Bucks. So I had 2 offers down here. Danny Shays, Bullets and Blazers. Cummings, the Clippers still are not on this list, so they are letting him go. They're finally going to let Karl Malone start, I think. Coleman looks like he's not going back to the Warriors. Mullen's finally getting some offers, but back to the Spurs is likely. It'd be interesting if the Magic get him too, because then they have to choose between him and Wilkins. Kendall Gill, the Cavs are trying to bring him back. Drazen, was he on the Pistons? No, he was on the Mavs, so he's switching teams as well, potentially. And Timmy, the Magic are not here. Oh, because he's restricted, so they don't have to offer him. They can just match. Skiles possibly going back to the Rockets. Let's see. All right, so now Kemp's getting offers. So I have to match. That looks like about $4 million a year, which is less than what it says expected. And Rice also. Why are the Spurs trying to get him too? So I will definitely get them. I will. Do I match Anderson? I don't have enough room for all these guys, do I? We're good on point guard. Anderson would be my 4th shooting guard. That's Rice as my 3rd. That's Kemp. That is Lister. So, yes, by not getting a 3rd power forward, I can get Anderson and either trade Sprewell or keep Anderson to trade him in the offseason. I think I'm just going to I'm going to decline the matching of Nick Anderson, I think. I don't need him on my team, or save a little money that way, because I imagine I'm going to be, where can I see that? Cap room, -7, so I'm going way over just by getting Kemp and Rice. Assuming I don't hit the hard cap, which I still don't understand how to find out what the hard cap is, but it did pop up when I was doing trade offers last season that I would go over the hard cap. Dana Barros, see if the Heat match him. He was taking away shots from Michael Jordan. All right, Kemp is prepared to go to the Knicks. Rice is prepared to go to the Mavs. Anderson prepared to go to the Lakers. I am not going to match Nick Anderson. I won't. Oh. Over the hard... Oh, boy. So somehow I am over the hard cap. Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't match both of them. How do I find out what the hard cap is? Oh, if you back out, they go right back to what they were. So I'm paying people too much because I have top draft picks. That's the problem. Trading Spreewell is not going to free up enough money. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, Nick Anderson for sure I don't need. So I can just decline him and renounce his rights. If I don't get Rice, that would mean one of these guys is playing, which isn't terrible. Or Ori. Ori could play. Kemp, I feel like I kind of need because Mutombo doesn't score as a backup. And he can't play with Shaq. So Kemp is the one I absolutely want to keep. But where the heck can I find the hard cap? Luxury tax is there. Luxury tax room hard cap is not anywhere. I don't see it anywhere. I guess maybe, can I see it in the options? Salary somewhere? Is that not a thing? Contracts. Hard cap on 200 thousands. So is that 20 million? No. So I'm already at 22. Yeah. So I'm already over the hard cap? Is that what they're telling me? Oh no. On previous 2Ks, I'm pretty sure if you were over the cap, it would just like randomly take somebody away from your team. So I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, if I didn't care so much, I could trade Stockton and let Peyton start, but Stockton was my first draft pick of this thing, and I kind of want to keep him forever. He's kind of a key piece, distributing-wise. Reggie, I mean, unfortunately, is probably the piece that should be traded. Ori. I guess I'm just going to see what happens. I don't know what 2K will do if I'm... So I'm not going to match him. And I'm actually going to renounce him. And then we're going to find out what happens. Okay. Do I have those people on my team? Peyton sucked by Nexel. So Anderson's not there. Good. Rice is there. Kemp is there. And Lister's there. So everybody's on my team. It says I'm 13 million over. I guess I just won't sign a third power forward, or I guess I can try and see if it tells me I'm over the hard cap again. Who could we go for? Or we keep a... Well, let's just keep a roster spot open. Let's just do that. Terry Cummings is back on the list. Now the Clippers are offering him. J.R. Reed is the top power forward. Or top center, I mean. Bernard King at age 36 looks like he's finally moving on from the Knicks. Dennis Scott probably going back to the Bulls. Nick Anderson. So the Lakers offered him. I didn't match, and then they said, no thanks, we actually don't want you. So now he's going to the Sonics or the Heat. And Abdul Rauf, who has been on the Kings. The Kings are giving up on him. Okay. We're just going to roll through here because I'm not planning on signing anybody else. Larry Johnson, not going back to the Knicks, it looks like. Owens, the Mavericks. Manute, he's been on several teams. Well, no. Drafted by the Lakers and was with the Warriors and Cavs. Now going to the Wolves or Clippers. We got Clifford here. I think he was already on the Suns. Mark Jackson getting an offer. We're halfway through. Jackson's offer is slowly increasing. They only have the minimum to give him. Oh, now the Lakers are really close. Luke Longley, possibly joining the Wolves. Tyrone Hill, who we traded. He was part of the trade for Mutombo. I guess the Bulls decided they didn't want him anymore. Alright, last day. There's still 75 overall people here. Nobody that I really feel like I absolutely need to get on my team for my 15th spot. Mookie, probably going to sign. Adams. Alright, I purposely didn't look at where other people signed because I want to see, kind of hear what the teams look like. So let's see how the Pacers look. Shaq went up 4. Some green arrows here. That's beautiful. Gary Payton up 1. Pippen up 1. Kemp up 1. Mutombo up 1. Horry up 2. Sprewell up 3. Lister down 2. Look at all that. Let's see what people went up in by position here. Point guard wise, Stockton went down in some things. Unfortunately, Payton did not get better at threes. I was hoping he would learn how to make those. His offensive consistency went up a little bit. His defense is just amazing. Lateral quickness went down a little bit. Stockton got a little bit slower. He's now 31. Shooting guard, Reggie got a little slower as well. Sprewell's speed and acceleration is super off, 91 and 78. He did go up in a lot of things. What's his potential? A-. Reggie went up in consistency and passing, down and draw foul, post fade, and some close shots. He's still 94 at threes. Sprewell got much better at shooting. Be interested to see what Pippen went up in. Horry went up in almost everything. He's 82 at threes now. Pippen got worse at drawing foul, but better at shot IQ. A little better at passing, stealing. His help D is now at 99. Lost 1 acceleration, so did Glenn Rice. I didn't really pay attention to Rice. It looked like he went up in some things, down in some things. He's still at 92 at threes. Power forward, Kellogg actually went up in something. At 32, he's still an 86. Let's see what Kemp went up in. Shot IQ, passing, consistency, perimeter D. His rebounding is like immortal now. Defensive consistency's up. Kellogg got a little slower yet again. His stamina's down. And at center, Shaq hopefully went up at everything. Dikembe went down in some. But on defense, which is the main thing I want him to be great at, defense and rebounding. Shaq got better at rebounds, so hopefully he won't have a problem averaging over 10 now a game. Mutombo stayed 99 at blocking. Shaq's up 5 at interior D, up 5 offensive consistency. They both got better at passing. Shot IQ was only 77, and he shot 55% as a rookie. Whoops. Post control's up. Free throws almost to a 50. We'll see when it gets there. I don't really need you practicing your threes there, Shaq. That can stop. Better at dunking and layups. Good stuff. All right, let's go through the league and see what changed and who went up and down. Pistons, unfortunately, Dennis Rodman's still their best player. He actually went up one. That's pretty cool. So I traded him, and he had a much better year with Detroit, so good for him. They did draft Mashburn. It looks like their starting center is Brian Williams, who scored lots of points on me a couple times during the year. And they signed Drazen, who went down one, unfortunately. So Drazen and Rodman are reunited as former Pacers. Rockets, I don't see anybody new here. That's the same team they had. And Ralph Sampson went down 4 overall, a little past his prime. Spurs kept their big 3, and they drafted Calbert Channing. Kenny Smith's new as a backup point guard. Oh no, the Suns are really bad. Like really, really bad. Clifford's going to have to average about 25 on this one now. Or Tracy Murray's going to score even more. Hopefully I have some of their draft picks. Patrick did not go down. And Nick Anderson, so they're also reunited as former Pacers. Did Patrick, he went up in threes and passing. So I thought I was trading him at around the right time for him to start going down and stuff, but it's cool that he's not. Nick Anderson's going to be a great second option for them. Gugliotta went up 4. Reggie Lewis never quite got to the overall he should have. So they don't look bad. The Blazers, oh my god, they signed Larry Johnson. So Isaiah Drexler, Larry Johnson, and they got Joe Barry. Oh, he was already on the team. I must have missed that. Dale Davis they signed. Buki is their backup point guard. This is a cool looking team. Their starting small forward is Chris Mills, it looks like, as their draft pick. Warriors signed Mahmoud. They don't have Coleman anymore. The Heat look relatively the same, but they got Bernard and Cliff Robinson, a couple old guys. Got some young guys going up. Unfortunately, Michael Jordan went down 1. He's only 30. Ugh. I think it's because he has his hair still. He never shaved his head, so he never got as good as he should have. The Hornets, who I just traded for 2 of their future picks, a lot of their top guys went down, and that's where I traded Watley, who will be their new starting point guard instead of D. Brown. Well, maybe. They might start D. Brown since he's younger. Magic did get Wilkins back, but they lost Tim Hardaway. I probably would have prioritized Hardaway at this point in their careers. They were able to get Rod Strickland. He's just jumping around the expansion teams. He was drafted by the Heat and then jumped to Minnesota and now to Orlando. They don't have a center. It's probably going to be Tyrone Hill. They got Geiger and a couple fake guys down there. Minnesota is where Coleman ended up. They've got a lot of big guys here. The top 5, 6, 7. Mark Jackson joins Derek McKee, Detlef Shrimp, and Rick Smits. Oh, guys that maybe the 90s Pacers should be looking at, but my team's looking a little better than this one. Alright, that was the full list. Sixers look pretty much the same. Morning didn't go up at all. Where's... Wait, tendencies changed too? Didn't realize that. Huh. Morning, B plus potential, so I don't know why he's not going up after his rookie year where he averaged 16 and 10 and 3 blocks. He needs to go up so he doesn't shoot 41%. The Bucks, Leitner, and Kukoc should get better, but they didn't really sign anybody. Barkley stayed the same. Everybody else got worse pretty much. The Bullets are not looking very good. Timmy Hardaway is the new centerpiece for the Chicago Bulls. So they've got a young core here. They drafted Baker, they got Weatherspoon last year, Dennis Scott, and Tim Hardaway. And Larry Nance is a veteran. They drafted Mirasan. Rick Fox is where I traded him. Yep, he was in the Mutombo trade. Cool. Cavs, Mark Aguirre, and that's it. So Kendall Gill did leave. Why don't people match anything? So Penny Hardaway is here as their fourth best player, but I imagine he will very quickly be their best player. Celtics, Bird went down 3. He's now 36 years old, about to enter the second year past when he actually retired in real life. They did sign Jack Sikma, so they're looking a little old. The only guy under 30, Walt Williams, and they've got Anthony Mason. The Clippers did bring back Cummings. Gosh, every time I think that Karl Malone's going to get a chance. And he also went down 1. That's very unfortunate. Pretty much the same team there. Hawks look pretty much the same. Sabonis did not go up or down. Weber gets drafted and is the Jazz's best player. They didn't change anything else around him. I'm sure he's happy about that. Kevin McHale at 35 is the best player on the Kings still. Jim Jackson didn't quite catch him. Oliver Miller went up a couple. Derek Harper, the former Pacer and former Finals MVP, is the best player on the Knicks. Rodney Rogers was their draft pick. That looks like a terrible team. The Lakers did get Kendall Gill, so they get somebody great every single offseason. They got Worthy back a couple years ago. They got Thorpe a couple years ago. They got Lambier last year. They've had Dominique on the team. They had Joe Barry Carroll when he was still pretty good. They are really good at attracting people, which is pretty real. But Kendall Gill is a nice piece to that team, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them back in the finals. Mavericks got Billy Owens from the Bucks. Otherwise, it's the same. The Admiral stayed at 91. Buck and Mitch both went down. Michael Adams is new to the team. He was in New York. He's been jumping around. Nuggets. Fat went down 6. Holy moly. It's like the most I've ever seen, I think. Oh, I think part of that is because I made him a shooting guard, I think, at the beginning of last year. I think it takes that into account, too. Ryder is almost their best player as their draft pick. And there we go. So we're going to skip the Summer League and we're going to Google where the 94 All-Star game was. 1994 NBA All-Star game. It was in Minneapolis, not Charlotte. We are going to load my 94 draft class. again, for most of them, if you search Yippee-Ki-Yay, you will find them. There it is. And let's see how these guys do. Who we have to look forward to. We got Big Dog, Glenn Robinson, Lamont Murray, Juwan Howard, Grant Hill, Danielle Marshall, Eric Montross, Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones, Jason Kidd, Jalen Rose, didn't play, Cliff Rozier, Sharon Wright, and Greg Miner. And the World Team actually won, who have... I don't think any of these people are real. Is that Dino's long-lost brother, Bruno? It's not Tracy, that's Tyron. So I don't think there's any international people of note in this draft, evidently. Let's advance. I'm hoping that if I'm over the hard cap, it didn't do something crazy like get rid of some of my people. So let's see. Still those three, still those three, still those three, still those two, still those three. Okay, everybody's on my team. Look at this team. The top 9 people, 80 plus overall. Those will be my rotation. Because, yeah, the position that won't be having a backup is shooting guard. So we got Houston and Sprewell in case that's needed at some point. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and fix some numbers. Unfortunately, Allen Houston can't be his number because Gary Payton has it. 53 sounds good. I guess 22 is... I don't think Allen Houston was any other number. He played for the Pistons and Knicks and was 20 on both. Van Exel is going to be 9. Yep, I think we're just going to stick with that. 22 for Houston. Alright, I think generally we're going to keep the same rotation. If you want to check out the first look at the draft, Kidd looks like the consensus number 1. Big Dog, Grant Hill, Eddie Jones, the next 3 to follow. We'll see how that changes throughout. I do have several future picks. I'm not going to check them all right now, but the Hornets were bad. I remember the Heat still have MJ. The Suns I do have. Looking at the roster, that looked like the team that will probably be the worst because Clifford Robinson was their best at like 78 overall. The Rockets got worse. The Kings were... Who was on the Kings? I don't remember. Hawks still have Sabonis. Bullets didn't get any better. So I might be loaded, ready to go for some of those big guys like Grant Hill and Jason Kidd. Not that I need them, but I do have, let's see, what decisions will I have to make? Gary Payton's contract is up. Reggie's contract is up. Pippen has a player option after the year. Okay, so I don't really have roster spots, but I can trade people. If I'm going to have the ability to upgrade and be ready for the future, we gotta see how far we can take this crazy dynasty of the Indiana Pacers. So we'll pick it up next time. I'll get the rotation done and mentors and training and all that stuff. Go through the league and see if anybody needs help with position adjustments or number changes, things like that get annoying. And then we'll kick off the 93-94 season looking for our, is it 8th straight championship? I mean, I'm losing track here. That looks like 7, so looking for an 8th straight. Crazy enough. Back in 83-84, I never would have thought this was happening with how terrible that season was. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for tuning in. Till then, True Redemption is out.